This is the Lassen Volcanic National Park's main entrance. It is in the southwest corner on Highway 89 near Mineral. This impressive facility is completely self-sustaining and powered by solar panels installed just outside the park. There is plenty information available for the traveler even after business hours. Lower left-hand corner is the main entrance that I have used, and the red line is the main and only road that takes you through the park. Emerald Lake, Lassen Volcanic Park, about 8,000 feet above sea level, and it's very pleasant temperature. So this is Lake Helen, about 7,500 feet high, pretty cold, pretty clean. Not many people stop here for swimming. No surprise. Yeah. People taking a break from hiking, but no one in the water. And water is crystal clear. Cold boiling lake, 1.9 miles. Let's go for it. Okay, taking a break. So this is the way from Bumpus Hell down to hot boiling lake. So that will be definitely interesting. So let's move on. And it will be quite a change in elevation, I guess, to get to the cold boiling lake from here. Lassen Volcanic National Park started as two separate national monuments designated by President Theodore Roosevelt in 1907. Certainly very interesting rock formations. So here I am walking down to cold boiling lake, but I wanted to return back to the topic of national parks in the US. There are 419 parks in the national park system, and 62 of them have the designation national park as part of their official name. And in 2019, last year, almost 330 million people visited a national park. So every man, woman and child on average visited once one of those 62 national parks, which is kind of a pretty good number. The most visited park is Great Smoky Mountains National Park, over 12 million people. And the second is Grand Canyon National Park with about 6 million visitors in 2019. And Lassen Volcanic National Park is one of the parks and is also one of the least visited parks. It only got 500,000 visitors, and that's about it. But I think people are missing quite a lot by skipping this park. It is unique in a way that it's one of the few areas in the world where all four types of volcano can be found. I didn't know that obviously before, but there are four types of volcanoes: plugged dome, shield, cinder cone, and stratovolcano. And the dominant feature of the park, of this park, is Lassen Peak. It's the largest plugged dome volcano in the world and the southernmost volcano in the Cascade Range. Lassen Peak is considered the most likely volcano in the Cascade Range to erupt in the next 100 years. So it can be next year, in 5 years, 10 years, 30, 60, who knows. There is basically a living volcano under us, under people walking in the park. And plugged dome volcanoes are formed by non-explosive outpourings of viscous lava that piles up around a vent, but that can be preceded or followed by explosive eruption. And at 10,500 feet, which is like 3,200 meters, Lassen Peak is one of the largest plugged dome volcanoes on Earth. So that is pretty unique. And of course you can look up all the other volcano types in the park. It does have 150 miles of trails, so you can walk. Actually you can drive close by and then you can walk. So it's not so bad. But anyway, now I'm continuing down to Cold Boiling Lake, which is one of the places that people visit, and we will see how it looks. Obviously, as I am getting lower, I'm getting closer to the lake, so hopefully it will not take that long. On the map it was only about 2 miles from the bump as hell. On the topic of camping, there are 9 campgrounds in the park, and you can also get a permit for backcountry camping, which basically means you can camp anywhere you choose of the official 9 camps. However, you cannot start fire. The only thing you can do is you can bring your own stove with gas, and you need to have a container that is approved by some authority. That's where you store your food, because there are bears, and bears are really strong, really smart. If you leave in your tent or close by food, they can find it and then you can be in danger. Cold boiling lake. Note cold cases bubbling up through water. So this is the bubbles that gave the name to this lake, Cold Boiling Lake. And that's all that's to it. But it's nice to look around and it was an interesting way to get here through those mountains and rocks. I think right in front of us is the Lassen Peak, Plug Dome, the volcano. The Plug Dome volcano forms when lava is too thick to flow great distances. Then a steam blast shatters the plug, creating an avalanche of melted snow and rock. And here it flew down on the east side. At Lassen, snow arrives early and stays late, and sometimes the road going through the park is opened at the beginning of the summer, the whole road. Otherwise, there is snow pretty late. So the park illustrates the powerful forces of nature, volcanoes and such, and the largest or the last eruption, I should say, or eruptions, there were several of them, were between 1914 and 21, and the largest one, the explosion eruption, was in 1915. So there is a lot of things to see in the park. It is being monitored and studied by scientists who research volcanoes, and also by biologists and others, because it's a very good source for research and for fun, I should say. So now I'm driving to a small city or town called Red Bluff, where I've been staying. It's a pretty depressive place, and it's in the middle of agricultural area. You can see actually mostly ranching. There is not enough water, I guess, for farming. Other than that, the area is not really settled much. So it was an interesting trip. The lesson was definitely worth it, and if you make it there, I'm pretty sure you will find something interesting there, as I did.